Hey, my name's ShawNshawN. I do sales on ShawNshawN.co and eBay. Today we're going to review Serenity. So Serenity is this new movie by director Stephen Knight. It has Matthew McConaughey, who's really good as Baker Dill, kind of this fisherman guy. Karen Zakiadis, Anne Hathaway plays his ex-wife, who's married this new husband, Frank, played by Jason Clarke. Baker Dill's current kind of girlfriend off and on is Constance, who has a cat, and Duke, who is his first mate on the ship. Overall, the timing for this movie is just right about where you want it, just not too long, not too short, just perfectly edited for time. Allows for enough plot development, character development, but it doesn't beat around the bush too much. So the storyline is Baker Dill's kind of this broken man living on his yacht, and when his free time, he kind of hunts big tuna. He's looking for the biggest tuna ever, and everyone's like, no, you don't want to fish that, there's no tuna, come on, it's all in your mind, right? But he actually almost catches it with his first man. But to make money, he has to hire out these amateurs that come to the island, these tourists, and they want to go for the big fishing trip. And he does all the work, catches the fish, and hands them the rod, and they get to say, oh, we caught a big fish, and they didn't catch anything. Really kind of a nasty trade-off to have to do this versus actually pursue his passion, fishing. But then it turns out, not only he's a fisherman and he used to be in the mainland, but one day, his ex-wife Karen comes visit him and says, oh, I planned out this big fishing trip for my husband. He's like, yada yada, whatever, what is this, what do you want, because she actually took his kid away and he never got to see his kids. He's really not happy with this woman. She's like, well, he beats me and he's horrible to me and he's yelling at the kid, and he's like, I don't know, is he really hitting the kid? He's not hitting the kid, so doesn't really like this guy. And this guy wants to go for a huge fishing trip, right? He's caught some big fish in his life, so he's a big show man, and he's this really rich, powerful guy, and he just wants to show off. And he's gonna way overpay. Like the first guys pay $700 and they're really pissed about it, and he's gonna pay $10,000, so he's paying like 10 times what you need to pay to do one of these fishing trips, right? So it's just outrageous amount of money he's showing around, and he's like, fine, I'll take you on a fishing trip, I'm not doing anything. And he tells his first mate, Duke, he's like, watch me, I might be tempted, do everything you can to stop me from doing it. But he doesn't tell him why he knows this guy, and that his ex-wife ran off with this guy when he was in the Iraqi war, so he's really bitter about it. So that kind of plays out. He doesn't kill him, but he really doesn't like this guy. Jason Clarke really, shows he's really kind of a scumbag. Not only hits his wife, but he's asking him, he's like, hey, where are all the cheap hookers at? We hear like there's this $10 hookers, they're like barely, they're like 16 years old or something, and he's like, whoa, this guy's a real scumbag, right? And they won't tell him anything, like, I don't know, I haven't heard about that on the island, right? So he's like, he beats his wife, he doesn't really get along with his adopted son, he's hanging around with hookers when he can, so he's overall really great scumbag, and obviously he's obscenely rich. So it's really interesting, because Baker Dill's on the one hand is really living on the brink of poverty as the good guy, and then the rich guy is portrayed as the villain. So it's interesting because the villain actually can obviously provide a great life for his wife and new kid, but he's just a scumbag. Another guy's a good guy, can barely get scraped to make a living, but he's morally good, right? So that kind of shows around. Then he, at one point he kind of loses his temper with Duke, because Duke just doesn't provide great luck for fishing. So he fires this guy, he's down his luck, but then he starts making money on the fishing, but this wife shows up to murder her husband. And so that leads on, and there has kind of what you would expect happens in the second fishing trips, right? However, there's a really nice plot twist, and that's kind of unexpected at all. And part of it hinges around this one character, Miller Reed. He's just this mysterious guy that goes around, and you think maybe he's trying to repossess the boat, and it turns out he wants to sell him a fishing thing, and you're like, you come at 2:30 a.m. to sell the fishing thing? And this is where the story, the reality around Matthew McConaughey, Baker Dill, is kind of unraveling, and he's wondering, what's happening. You're wondering yourself what happened to his mind, how did he get here? And it comes in this really nice plot twist. I won't go more than that, but it has a really, really nice plot twist, because it goes from this typical, date movie night thing your girlfriend drags you to, right? And then you're like, boom, to another thing. You're like, whoa, what's this? This is kind of interesting, right? So overall, I think that's a really nice plot twist. Kind of similar to how The Village kind of switches your mind on it. The setting's like this beautiful Caribbean island. There's a local bar called Rope, where the fishermen go to celebrate their big hunts and then drink their sorrows when they lose. But overall, I think it's, you know, a pretty nice one-time view movie. I wouldn't see it probably more than once, but, you know, maybe see it on TV later. But I think it was pretty fun. I'll say give it a thumbs up. Hopefully you give me a thumbs up. And if you want to subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next movie review. Thanks for watching, guys.